they cooked. They they knocked this thing out the park. They stuck the landing. This entire show is a 10 out of 10. I would even go. It goes beyond 10. The Jesus, the story writing, like they they cared a lot about. They put so much care into each and every episode. The details, they were very meticulous. Oh my god. Guys, your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man just ended today. The final two episodes 9 and 10. And when I tell you they were both bangers, like wow. If you are new here, please like, share, and subscribe. Make sure you turn on the alert bell so you never miss another video. If you're a returning viewer, feel free to hit that subscribe button as well. You know, what are you doing? You're missing out. But man, your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. I can't wait for season 2. I can't wait for season 3. This show is just perfect to me. Like man, guys, you know how I do. You know how I do. I don't go in any particular order. Let's just start off with talking about my man, Lonnie Lincoln. My boy got his powers, got that invulnerability and that super strength today. That canister knocked over, that canister that came from, Octavius' lab, because Norman has been secretly orchestrating to get all of Octavius' tech. He wants all the Doc Ock's tech. He got Doc Ock put in jail so that he can get that free of charge. Like it's all a power trip for him, but that leads to Lonnie getting his powers. And then if you pay attention at the end of episode 10, there wasn't no dust on his fingers. We know that Lonnie Lincoln is canonically an albino man. Each take on the character, they change it up seemingly, whether he was born like that or whether he just gains that once he gets his powers or whatever. But he always ends up being an albino man with filed down teeth and a really, really creepy, deep voice, and he's running a criminal organization. Well, in the huge brawl in episode 9 between the 110 and the Scorpions and a rage-filled scorpion, literally, he goes in the back of the Oscorp truck because Big Don wants to get a big score after the tip that Chameleon, I forgot to bring that up last week, after the tip that Chameleon gave them. So, it was cool to see Chameleon as well last week. Another, we're getting so much in this universe, it's cool. So, they get tipped off. They figure something in this can help them against their fight with the Scorpions, I guess. Or they're just trying to usurp the Scorpions because maybe I believe they knew about this shipment, this truck move or whatever. I believe they knew about it as well. Lonnie's initially not down for this whole thing, but then when the brawl starts going down and he sees Big Don, he tries to go help Big D. Big D runs away. Big D basically, he's a coward. He even told Scorpion, I give up, I quit, I'll leave. Yada yada yada. Big D, you're not that big scary gangster that you wanted all these kids to think you were. You had a little bit of power, now you're starting to lose it, so now you're gone. And guess who was gonna run the 110? Lonnie Lincoln, aka Tombstone. So he goes back there, knocks over a canister or whatever. The gas starts going. He passes out for a little bit, comes out. Meanwhile, Spider-Man, he's, his nerves are racked a little bit, seeing Scorpion, but he shakes it off. He shakes it off like Spider-Man always should. He shook it off and he just starts going to town. He's legitimately giving Scorpion the business. I cannot fault him on he did his thing, but he's still pulling those punches because at the end of the day, he's a hero. He does not want to end up the bad guy. So he sees Lonnie. Lonnie comes out of that thing. He goes to check on him. When he lets his guard down. Also, can we mention they finally gave him his spider sense today, or at least I don't think he had it before this. No, he did not, because he wouldn't have got stabbed in the shoulder last week. He got a spider sense today, so that was cool to see. They didn't wait 3 different seasons or in, a few different movies in the case of the main Earth Spider-Man. But so yeah, he gets his powers. Not his powers. He gets spider sense, dodges. He's bobbing. He's weaving. He even gets Scorpion to electrocute himself and knock himself out for a couple of minutes, giving him a little breathing room to go help Lonnie. So Lonnie jumps in the way. He sees the thing hit his chest and nothing happens. It was really dramatic. They made it seem like Lonnie got stabbed, but no, Lonnie is invulnerable, indestructible almost. He catches the thing. He breaks the end of Scorpion's tail. So him and Pete, they double team. It was really cool to see them teaming up just to, to stop this guy. They think they have him down for the count. They do not. Scorpion knocks down a crane that has all these beams on it. The beams like crush Lonnie, at least he thinks. So what does Peter do? He loses it. He hears Norman's words in his head about not pulling those punches, and he starts going to town on Scorpion. But Lonnie gets back up. He comes from underneath the rubble, tells him to stop. This is not who you want to be. It's kind of reminiscent of the scene in No Way Home when Peter was basically not pulling his punches against Norman Osborn, Green Goblin, and Tobey Maguire's Peter got up and stopped him. It was very reminiscent of that scene. I thought that was really cool. I'm loving the callbacks to main Earth Spider-Man media. If you get what I mean, that's really cool. That was really cool to see. So, they leave the scene. Also, let's not forget to mention, Peter rescues Nico, and when he shows up on the scene in the classic red and blue suit, I got chills. It's so good to see that suit. And Harry did his thing. I'm surprised Norman didn't say anything about that. I was hoping that he'd be like, oh, so you're wearing the suit that my son made, yada, yada, yada. I would have loved to have seen that. But like, this first episode was nonstop action. Like I said, Lonnie gets his powers. That's always cool to see. And I'm glad that happened. I wouldn't even say like cold open. The opening with Otto in jail reading over the Sokovia Accords and picking out what doesn't really make sense was really cool, because it's like we didn't really get to see that in the movies, in the main Earth MCU. We didn't really get to see that, so it was really good. It was really cool to see, that somebody, especially a genius like Otto Octavius, was going through and nitpicking at some of the stipulations that are in these accords, because of course half of them don't really make sense. Like this whole legislation that they're trying to put forth on superheroes doesn't really make sense. The whole title of the episode, Hero or Menace, also has a double meaning for me, because if you think about it, is he a hero? Is he a menace? J. Jonah Jameson always says that about Spider-Man, but you have to think about it. You have a hero in Spider-Man, and you have a potential menace that's going to be Lonnie Lincoln, aka Tombstone, especially when he fully mutates. I wonder what's going to make this version foul his teeth down. But yeah, like I said, Lonnie is officially the leader of the 110th Street Gang, and I saw this coming a mile away. He just has so many leadership qualities. And if we skip to episode 10, especially at the end, we see that he has received the email from Harry, because Harry is starting Web, his organization that he's going to use, because Peter no longer really trusts Norman and no longer trusts what he wants to do. Like, he doesn't want anything to do with their internship, because at the end of the day, Norman only used them not to really help him in Spider-Man, but to get all of their ideas to build this big old portal thing. And what does the portal thing do? Oh my god, it was so much and so much timey-wimey stuff like that goes into this. Like, I don't even know how to fully break it down, so I'm just gonna do it the best way I can, because I don't want this video to be super long. But anyway, Harry's new organization that he's starting is called Web, the Worldwide Engineering Brigade. He sends it to Amadeus. He sends it to Jean. I'm blanking on the Wakandan girl's name, but he sends it to her as well. Amadeus like shrugged it off and laughed. He's still at Oscorp. So yeah, like, he doesn't really care. Amadeus is really smug. We find out, for those that did not know, I mean, I knew, but Jean, yes, this is the Jean that is Taskmaster's daughter. She is a vigilante, also working with Daredevil. She was basically spying on Norman for Daredevil, which explains, for those that didn't know, why she was trying to sneak in Norman's office in that one episode. So yes, we find out who she really is, and that was cool to see. Especially, it was cool to see Daredevil back. Charlie Cox. His show starts May 3rd. I can't wait. But yeah, so he's sending out the invites. He's gonna fund his own thing. Virginia says it was Nico's idea, and I'm glad to see that trio on this Earth is still holding strong. No matter what his dad did, Peter's not gonna blame Harry for his dad's mistakes. Now, what was his dad's mistake? Well, we saw last week's episode when Peter was hurt, he took the blood. That got my brain going. Now, when I first found out about the show, we found out that the spider comes from a different Earth, but not really. It just comes from a different time. What time? The time of, it was Doctor Strange. When Doctor Strange shows up after Norman is, unveiling this portal, he's trying to stop him. But no, this is the same Strange, but it's not the same Strange. Peter recognizes him and said, hey, you're the guy from the incident at Midtown. What happened at Midtown, do you think? Well, I'll answer that for you right now. The incident in the pilot episode of this series, where he shows up with the symbiote and destroys the school, which is why Peter has never met MJ or Ned or Flash Thompson, because he did not go to that school with them in this universe. Doctor Strange using the Time Stone to basically try to get rid of this monster that was at Oscorp messed up this entire timeline, but also set things in motion, because this version of Peter, I don't think he was ever supposed to get the spider bite. But I can't really say that, because I think he was. It's like it's a closed loop type of thing. Basically, if anybody were to interfere, if Peter were to not get hurt by Scorpion as bad, I don't think Peter would end up getting the spider bite. This timey-wimey stuff is weird, but basically, he created himself with the help of Doctor Strange. And I thought that was really cool. Like when all of this was unfolding, I'm sitting on my couch with my wife. I'm freaking out. Like, a whole bunch of timey-wimey stuff. And they actually made it make sense. It's a closed loop. Like, it's a legit closed time loop. But what happens at the end of this time loop? Part of that symbiote gets left behind. And who discovers it? Norman Osborn. Are we getting Venom next year? Like, next season? Like, are we going to get Venom? Are we going to get the black suit? Are we going to get Black Suit Spider-Man in the second season of the show? I'm down for it. But what else happens besides Lonnie and, besides Pete, teaming up with Doctor Strange and getting those words of encouragement from Doctor Strange? Aside from Harry starting his own little thing for geniuses, aside from Peter trying to distance himself from Oscorp and Norman Osborn, because he knows like stuff there isn't on the up and up at all. I'm glad he finally figured that out, because I was really, really worried about my boy there for a second. Aside from Norman finding the symbiote, well, Otto Octavius is designing his arms. Like, we already saw a prototype in his lab for that, but he's just doodling in prison, like just designing the arms like on paper, several pieces of paper. You're a great artist, Otto, I have to say. And what else? Nico is casting spells in her room, and she said, "Hi, Mom." So yes, some version of the Runaways did happen in this universe, which is also cool. And then we get a really, really cool like swinging montage. Like, we never got to see Tom Holland's Peter actually like swing fully. Like, we never got a full swinging montage, and I hope we get that in Spider-Man 4 and the further installments. We get a new director, so maybe we'll get some new stuff with that, and I'm really excited to see what's to come with that. But like I said, I give this show a full 10 out of 10. This show did not disappoint. We have so much to look forward to when a new season drops, and yeah, I hope they don't take forever. I hope they could drop it next year. Don't make us wait like they're making us wait for X-Men 97. Like, we gotta wait till 2020. We could have got that this year, but no, we gotta wait till 2026. Like, I really believe that X-Men 97 would be starting around this time. But I mean, we're getting Daredevil, so I guess that's a decent trade-off, right? I would think so. Also, did anybody else see Uatu watching? We saw the Watcher in this, and it's real fitting because the voice actor for this Peter was also the voice actor for the Peter that was in What If. So that's kind of cool too. But yes, they definitely cook with this show. I don't have any bad things to say about the show, and that's surprising for me, because I always have something negative to say about something. How could I forget the most important part of the episode? What do you mean Richard Parker isn't dead? What? What the fuck? What do you mean he's in prison? Aunt May's been keeping this secret all this time. Oh, when Peter finds out, I don't think y'all understand just how like impactful this is, especially since he's played by Josh Keaton, one of the greatest voice actors to voice Peter Parker Spider-Man, especially since he voiced him in one of the greatest Spider-Man shows of all time, Spectacular Spider-Man. This is monumental, in my opinion. Am I being a little bit over dramatic? Yes, of course I am, because I'm recording this after the fact because I forgot to put it in the first time. But Richard Parker is alive. The last time they did this was in the Amazing Spider-Man films. And even then, they cut that out. So yeah, Sony, just give all the rights to Spider-Man back to Marvel. Give it to Disney. They understand this character infinitely better than you guys ever will. That's my hot take. Okay, back to the video. But yeah, guys, let me know what you thought about these episodes down below in the comment section, and let's have a discussion about it, and I will catch you all next time.